Go ahead.
Yes, so I hand select all the items in the store. That way, I know that what I'm selling to my clients, they're going to have success with. And if for some reason I made a bad choice, we then turn around and we take care of the client, get them out of that product and then into another one. And I think that's a key to success, is making sure that you're selling items that people can use for a long time and be safe and comfortable in the water.
So how did you decide about the layout of what you have going on here?
Yeah, so the store I designed originally kind of in my head. In fact, I drew it and redrew it and redrew it for probably a year and a half. It was going to be about 4,000 square feet bigger. It was going to be about a 12,500 square foot facility. I talked to a friend of mine that was an architect. He looked at my design and he said, it's all great. He goes, but you have hallways and other things in here that may not be efficient. He said, I think I could cut out quite a bit of square footage to make your building more cost effective, not only for capital investment, but what a lot of business owners overlook is, can they maintain their structure over time? Because things cost money. Air conditioning units go out, swimming pools need repair. And so actually really happy with the design, because if I had built that bigger building, I may or may not have made it through the last 2 or 3 recessions that we had. My bills would have been bigger. Sometimes call it your ego or your dreams, are big, and sometimes you just have to scale back a little bit and do what makes more sense practically, and it's worked out great.
So switching gears again a little bit, employees. Well, how many employees have you had over the year? Are they full-time? Are they part-time? Are they, just what are the various people you have working with you?
So we actually have a swim program, which I think moving forward, if someone builds a dive center, is a super smart thing to do. When I built this, that was kind of my concept, was to have 2 programs in one here in the facility. That way, if you do have economic ups and downs, swimming is something that everybody wants their child or family members to be able to do. So we have the swim program here, and I'm sorry, what did you ask me?
Your employees?
Yeah.
So
Right. So employee-wise, on the swim side, we have about 14 or 15 employees. We have that are full part-time. In other words, they all work every week, but because swim is not necessarily a 40-hour-a-week job, some work 3 hours, some work 18, some work 40. On the scuba side, we have 6 full-time employees, but then we also have independent contractors that are instructors and dive leaders, and that probably totals another 15 or 16 individuals. So all said and done, 30 to 40 people active in the business, full-time 24 people that are on full-time payroll.
So aside from instructors, though, you also have some folks who work on the tech side of it in terms of repairs and service?
Yes, exactly. In most full-service dive centers, you're going to have the education component of the teaching. You're going to have retail, which is what really kind of drives the bus in a dive store and where the profit comes from. Then you obviously have to service the gear that you sell. So yes, we have a service center, and we service most of the major brands, certainly everything that we carry here at the store. Then we also have admin people as well. So those are kind of in travel. Travel is kind of done by me, though. We run exotic trips to various locations.
So you have products, you have classes, and then travel. That's another arm of what you offer. And tell me about that.
The travel component, yeah. So we do a lot of local travel and regional, but then we also run trips. I've been fortunate over the years to go to Thailand, Galapagos, Fiji. We run down to South Central America, Costa Rica, and the Caribbean. What that does is, because we are landlocked, we're not at the ocean, which I know most people don't think a shop would succeed. The way we do is with that travel program, we give the clients the training and then a vision, a place that they can go. And we try to listen to our clients too. If they have requests, hey, I've never been to this location, I'll check it out, and if it makes sense, then we'll plan a trip for next year, and we'll get 20 or 30 folks to go with us. So that's really been a key ingredient to our success over the years, is our travel activities.
So with folks who can't travel necessarily right now, especially with COVID, what kind of local or things that are not necessarily the exotics for right now to get you kind of over that hump before we can get back to exotics?
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? When COVID happened, we did have to cancel all of our international travel for about 18 months or so. We'll probably resume next summer. So we've been going to Lake Phoenix, which is in Virginia, fantastic training facility. There's a couple quarries in the area that are great for local training. We also have done a lot of South Florida diving, the Florida Keys, and then Palm Beach, Florida is one of my favorite destinations. You can actually see everything there that you'd see in the Caribbean. In fact, actually more. It's a really great place. We quit using our van. We had a van where we group travel, so we've gone to carpooling. Everybody's okay with that. Some people fly. We do still make the hotel arrangements. We've had a great relationship with a hotel in Palm Beach for 14 or 15 years, and we also have a relationship with the boats. And in Florida, because of the Coast Guard and with COVID, they've made rules to try to keep the sport safe. We're down to 12 divers or 50% capacity, just like restaurants have had to do and other places. So it works out great, actually. The clients that are going feel spoiled because they're on a 20-passenger boat with only 12 people, lots of space, and so we've been fortunate enough to keep people diving. In fact, we've trained more people this year than we trained last year because diving was one of the only things people could still go do and do it in the United States. So it's actually worked out really nicely.
Awesome. Can you show us around your shop?
Absolutely.
I'll follow you around.
Yeah, absolutely. So the part that you've been looking at, of course, is our retail counter area, our point of sale. We do have a system that is designed specifically for scuba. It can be used on the cloud, so that's how we run all of our transactions, including travel and retail. And then kind of moving over to the left, you can see that this is kind of where all of our mask, fins, snorkel are. This is the basic gear that every scuba diver needs when they start, and then also gear that cruisers can use. You know, anybody that wants to go to the Caribbean and go snorkeling. Everything we have is professional quality, kind of all different price points. We have an orientation area, so when our students come in to learn how to dive, we actually tell them about our store, ask them kind of what their goals are. This is where we do paperwork, and we have a computer that we register the students on. SSI, the educational system we use, is all digital. It's all e-learning, as well as PADI and some of the other agencies now. They're all using digital learning. As you move back around this way, you'll see some various packages that we have. We offer complete packages with BCs and regulators, and something we've done in our facility is we give each package kind of a name that people can relate to. We have an adventure diver package. We've got a become a diver. If someone comes in and says, hey, what would I need to spend to get absolutely everything I need to go diving, including the course, we put a package together to give people kind of that vision. We have an expedition diver package as well. But this enables people to see what does a diver look like, because it's hard. You think about coming to a sport with so many different gadgets and pieces of equipment. How do you put it all together? As we walk through the store, obviously one of the key features in our building is that we have a pool. We got a little creative with the names. We call our pool our dive simulator. The only thing that I couldn't afford to do was put waves and rock the building. If we could have done that, we could have really made it a simulator. But the reason that we call it a dive simulator is it's 15 feet deep. We have lines that you can descend up and down. And then if you look on the wall over here, we have boat benches, just like being on a dive boat. So we try to give our customers a real world experience as much as we possibly can. Of course, our classroom, which we call our school, is right here. And the classroom is large enough comfortably for 20 people to be in here, but we teach class sizes of 6 to 8 generally. We use multimedia in here as well. Everything we've done is digital. Of course, we have lots of photographs displayed and a map of the world, again, to give people that vision of where can they go after they're certified. And of course, lots of equipment for demonstration purposes. And then our service department is back through here. Ours isn't really large. Some places have a bigger service department, but we've kept it kind of efficient. This is John Gadeski, actually my dad.
How you doing?
And he's currently taking things apart and putting them back together. But we do full service on tanks, regulators, BCDs. There are kits that the manufacturers supply called an annual kit. This one happens to be for an aqualung regulator, but basically all the parts that we need when we take the regulator apart are here for us. And then we have schematics that we use to put everything back to factory specs and tune it. And then we have some of our rental fleet back here around the corner. We try to keep everything on our rental fleet fairly new and in good condition. We turn it over. We have 32 sets of BCDs and regulators for local rental and for people going to Florida or wherever else they might travel. And then we can't really go upstairs right now, but I do have an administration area upstairs where the swim ladies work and where we do a lot of paperwork. And then if we move through out to the pool area and get a better look. A little bit louder. We have a fan and ventilation that runs in here for dehumidification. We actually chose not to do a dehumidification system because of the expense and the repair, but the fan works great. You can see we have a couple of intake fans, and then all the air goes out the top of the building and out the side. That keeps our humidity down, keeps our chemical levels inside the building for safe breathing quality to a minimal, and it's a very cost-efficient way of doing it. obviously, we won't go into changing rooms because we have clients, but we have a ladies' locker room. We also have, of course, the men's room. And then here in the back, you'll see the waiting area. And obviously, right now, during COVID, we have the occupancy numbers down in here, but this is where the parents can actually observe their child
okay.
in a heated, cooled space. They've got Wi-Fi as well as power station to hook up their cell phones and everything. And then,
nice.
I just got here, you're right. Actually, I've been here all day. All right, and then of course, just the mechanical space on the outside of the dive store. Let's just make sure we don't get locked out. And then our compressor actually lives out here. I have this a little mess. This is sort of the hidden area, but compressor system resides in a ventilated storage area out here. We would open up all the doors if we're operating the compressor. Compressor is one of the most expensive things in a dive store. It is the heart of the store, so you got to have it. This is a Bauer compressor. It's now about 12 years old, but we bought it brand new, and she has actually worked pretty maintenance free. We just change the oil and the filters on the compressor about every 3 months, and so it's again one of the key ingredients to having a dive store.
Nice. So a final question is, what advice would you give to some new person just getting out of college who says, hey, I want to have a dive store?
Yeah, so definitely something that can be done. If you put forth the effort, you got to make sure you have a good business plan. Talk to some people in the industry. I would suggest you get some experience working in another dive center first so that you understand how to buy and receive merchandise and how to pick your selection and understand kind of all the dynamics. It's a challenging business because you're a travel agent, you're an educator, sometimes you're a babysitter, you're an inventory manager, you're a manager of people as far as your employees, but it's rewarding in that no 2 days are the same, and it's a great adventure. I've enjoyed it for 30 years now.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Joe. This has been great.
Awesome.